Having a baby next month. Next month. Are you ready?
Baby boy. Yeah, I'm ready. I was just talking to Morgan when we went in for like the last, is this like your last one before, or you have one more?
Well, there's a story of why this is probably the last ultrasound, and technically we weren't even supposed to have this one, but there's a reason that I'll tell you guys later why they wanted us in for an ultrasound today. But it's probably the last one.
Okay. Well, the reason, it was Beckham's actual last one, right?
Yeah, but his was also not supposed to. It was like a super late term ultrasound.
So anyways, we were going in for Beckham's super late term ultrasound, and they hit us with the, what are you guys doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Want to have a baby?
Yeah.
I was just talking to Morgan about that, like, what if that happened when we go
Today.
in right now, and we had this baby tomorrow?
That would be crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be too crazy, because it happened with Beck.
Yeah, but we were also further along.
Right.
That was like middle of March. And our boys are due around the same time, so Beckham was due March 31st. Yeah, you were. And this baby is due like March 27th. If you haven't been here or you haven't heard the story, I'll tell you guys the whole story of Beckham and his C-section experience. Yeah, honey, I'm talking about you. Huh. On his whole C-section experience and why we had a C-section with Beckham. And today, this appointment, we do have an ultrasound, and we weren't originally supposed to have an ultrasound, but there's a reason that they wanted to get us in. But anyways, I think this appointment, we will be discussing the options and the risks of either going for a VBAC or scheduling another C-section. So we're going to go in. They don't allow you to film in the ultrasound anymore, which is a bummer because we have quite a few of our own video of our ultrasounds with Beckham, and they don't let you do that anymore. So anyways, we probably won't actually film in there, but I'll give you guys all the updates of kind of what they tell us, and also let you know why we are going in for this ultrasound today.
Because it's actually a girl. Just joking.
Because
Sorry,
the
Mom.
gender changed. The baby, Beckham keeps saying baby. He just said his name. Beckham's been saying baby and then his name, so I'll probably cut that out. But that's another update. I think we are almost basically decided on the name, right?
Yeah.
95% sure.
I think I'm happy with it.
95% sure on the name. So anyways, I'll give you guys more of an update in just a bit. Bye. Beckham knows the drill by now.
Up. Oh, no, don't press out.
Oh.
2.
3.
3. Really?
We an invader? Hi. He's an invader. We're going up. Let's go see the baby.
Don't get off here. I pressed the wrong one.
We just saw the baby. We'll give you guys more of an update, but everything looks good. And he apparently has a lot of hair.
And a big head.
And a big head.
He's in the 70th percentile.
Yeah.
Which is a little bigger, but not huge. But you could see his hair. She pointed it out, and she
flowing.
said he has a lot of hair, so we'll see. Beckham, who is this? Who is this?
Baby.
You're so cute. Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. The due date actually moved up again as well.
To
March 16th, the day before his birthday. So I'll give you guys the full story and update once we are done seeing the actual doctor. We gotta go talk to our doctor now.
Yep.
Hello guys, a little bit later. We are back home now, but welcome to our 8-month pregnancy update. I am trying to hold my camera, but I also had to get the vaccine to protect against whooping cough today. I don't remember what it's called, but they said my arm would be sore for the next few days, so I'm probably gonna have to actually set the camera down because my arm is already hurting. Hi, do you want to say hi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, tell them your name. What's your name?
Look.
It's Beck?
Yeah.
Well, hi Beck. How are you today? Did we see your baby brother today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw your baby brother, huh?
Day.
In Mommy's belly. Yeah? Was that cool?
Yeah.
I'm glad you get to go with us to those ultrasounds, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad you get to go with Mom and Dad to those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, come here. I'll hold you for just a second. Okay. You are heavy. Okay. The good news is everything went well at our appointment today, but I have been feeling pretty frustrated our past few appointments, and I'm going to tell you guys why. But just in general, I'm just going to be telling you guys everything that's been going on with this pregnancy so far, just because we are only a month out. So I have quite a few updates for you guys and just things that I have been doing, and our ultrasound today and kind of the explanation for that. And like I said, we were pretty decided on his name, so I just have quite a bit to catch you guys up on because this pregnancy has flown by and I feel like I haven't been the best at sharing everything. So I'm going to give you guys a little update today. Okay, there we go. And I also laid Beckham down, so hopefully he falls asleep. But anyways, if you are new here, we are having our second little boy. The original due date was March 27th, I think was our first due date. That has gotten changed a few times now, so I'm going to be telling you guys all of that. For this baby, I've also been deciding on a VBAC or C-section, so I'm just going to kind of explain what I am thinking about that so far and what we are planning on doing, and kind of just why I've been a little bit frustrated. But overall in this pregnancy, I have felt super great. I've had it very easy. I haven't had any complications so far, which I'm very thankful for. And I've just been feeling really good. The only things that I really change during pregnancy is just obviously drinking more water, trying to increase my calorie intake, and also taking my prenatals by Ritual. I've talked about these many times before. They're my absolute favorite prenatal vitamin. If you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant or thinking you will become pregnant soon, I would highly suggest the prenatal vitamins. I also took them with my pregnancy with Beckham, and they are sponsoring this portion of today's video. Of course, if I'm going to do a pregnancy update, I have to mention these because they are a big part of my pregnancy and my diet and mine and my baby's health right now. So these ones have always been my favorite. First of all, because they tell you exactly what are in their vitamins and where they are coming from. So they give you this little pamphlet and they have everything listed of what is in your prenatals and why you need them. So you are making sure you are getting all the essentials for you and your baby. It also has folate in it rather than just folic acid, which is just a form of folate. You're getting your folate, your magnesium, your omega-3s, your vitamin B12, vitamin D3, iron, biotin, vitamin E. Like, it literally lists everything. And then it tells you right here what those nutrients are for and how they are helping you. So they make it very traceable to know exactly what you're putting in your body and where they are coming from and why you need them. So I love that because as we are pregnant or just in general, it's really important to know that we are getting those essential nutrients that we need. Another thing that I love though is that these prenatals never make my stomach feel upset, even in the first trimester. If you are already feeling super nauseous and just sick all the time, these prenatals are not going to make that worse. They are designed to dissolve later, so they are not going to give you an even more upset stomach. And because they do dissolve later, you can take them with or without food. Hi, he's back. Apparently he didn't want to lay down.
Yeah. Mama's?
Mama's?
Yeah.
Vitamins.
Mama's.
Okay, that was pretty cute.
Mama's.
Since Beckham is now here, I should also mention that Ritual does also have vitamins for men's or kids or just the whole family. Vitamins. And they also have postnatal vitamins, so I am going to be sure to be taking those once the baby is actually here. Logan has his men's vitamins that he takes every day as well, and we just love these Ritual ones. So if you guys are interested in trying, I will have the link in the description. And you can also use my code MorganB to save 10% off your first 3 months. Taking these prenatals has been such an important part of both of my pregnancies, and they are just my favorite. So if you guys are interested, make sure to go click the link below and use my code. And thank you again to Ritual for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Okay, I just got Beckham to lay down for his nap, so I can get through this without being interrupted 500 times. So anyways, now on to more of an update on baby and our appointments, how he's doing, and why I've been a bit frustrated with our last few doctor's appointments. So at the very beginning, they told me that this baby's due date was March 27th. So in November, we went in for our 20-week anatomy scan ultrasound, and everything looked great, and they actually told us that he was measuring a bit bigger, and they moved our due date up 5 days to March 22nd. So that was great. And then our next appointment was not until the beginning of January, because they told us that they were cutting back on women's appointments and how often they were seeing us. They basically just said that they were seeing us too often, and unless there was a reason to go in sooner, that they didn't need to see us that often, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but that's kind of part of my frustration, just a little bit. So then in January, we don't have an ultrasound, it's just an appointment with my doctor, and he pulls out the tape measure and measures my belly and says that my belly is measuring small. Now this is exactly what happened with Beckham. So with him, I was a lot closer along. I was only a few weeks away from his due date, and they said the same thing. They got the tape measure out, and doctor said my belly was measuring small and wanted to get me in for a super last minute ultrasound, which they don't usually do. So a couple days later, I think we go in on a Friday for our ultrasound. And of course the ultrasound tech can't really tell you anything. You have to wait until you see the doctor again. And because we went in for our ultrasound on a Friday, it left the entire weekend for me just to stress and worry about my baby being small. What did I do wrong? What's wrong with my baby? Why is my belly measuring small? So I just remember being super freaked out and stressed until we got to go back in the next week and we met with the doctor. But it did turn out that that last minute ultrasound and the whole fact that they thought my belly was measuring small was a huge blessing in disguise, because our doctor then told us that from the ultrasound they saw that the cord was prolapsed, which meant that the cord was pinched between Beckham's head and my cervix, like up here, and the further he dropped down, it was cutting off his nutrients, oxygen, blood supply, and it can just be a very scary situation if you go into labor. So they did not want me going into labor at all, and they basically said, what are you doing tomorrow? I think the best option is for you to have a C-section. So in the end, my belly measuring small, which it wasn't. Beckham came out a full, healthy 7-pound baby, absolutely nothing wrong with him. He was fine, but my belly measuring small actually turned out to be a huge blessing in disguise for us. So anyways, back to this baby. We go in January. He measures my belly and says the exact same thing. Your belly is measuring small. Let's get you in for an ultrasound next month. Which brings us to today, which means that this time I had to wait an entire month of just kind of like stressing and being anxious. Not as bad this time though. My maternal instincts kicked in a little more and told me I was just fine. But when they do tell you that you're measuring small and you know these thoughts run through your mind, and again I'm thinking, is this one measuring small? Like, what is going on? Like, am I eating enough? Like, what am I doing wrong? So obviously I am no doctor, but I don't think the tape measure is a very accurate way of measuring your baby. And honestly, I don't know, it kind of frustrated me because they tell me that and then they leave me hanging for a month until we can find out for sure. And I just don't think the tape measure is accurate, because for taller girls like me who have longer torsos, I know for a fact that my babies sit closer to my back and my torso is longer. Like, there's obviously more room in there, and all women carry their babies differently. Like, some bellies are just bigger and some are smaller. Like, no woman is going to be the exact same. So why are we still using this old method of a tape measure? So anyways, I just kind of had a little problem with the tape measure, I guess. But I really can't complain because I can't complain about having another ultrasound. So that brings us to today and why we had our ultrasound, even though like technically I was not supposed to have another ultrasound appointment. I think they only do like 2 total these days if everything is looking good. But they got us scheduled for this late term ultrasound, and we go in and he is looking great. There's nothing wrong with him. He is in the 70th percentile And once again, my due date got moved up. So I thought I was like 32 weeks, 4 days or something like that today, and they actually told me that I am closer to 34 weeks and 4 days, and the due date has now been moved up to March 16th, which is the day before Beckham's birthday. So we kind of laughed about that. Obviously, it made me feel very relieved, but just that tape measure, I was just a little bit annoyed. Just a little bit. But it was really fun seeing our baby again today. Ultrasounds are always fun, and it gave us peace of mind as we get closer that he looks great. There's nothing wrong with this baby. And the ultrasound tech was even laughing because she's like, this baby I think is going to have a lot of hair, and we could see his hair like flowing in the fluid. We kept laughing at that because we could just see all of this hair on him already. So I think this baby's going to have a lot of hair. She did say that he had a larger head, so yay for me. But everything looked great. The whole ultrasound experience today was amazing. The ultrasound tech was so nice. She was so personable. She made it really fun, and it just like made us feel very, very relieved and just like we were in a good place, like we were good. So then right after our ultrasound, I was expecting today to go in and talk about the entire risks of having another C-section or trying for a VBAC, because that is what my doctor told me a month ago that we would be doing today. He kept calling it like the doom or gloom papers, because you basically just talk about all the risks and you kind of make a plan and decide what you want to do. So we went in fully prepared to have that conversation today because we are getting dang close to having this baby, and I want to be prepared. And I have to say, I love our doctor. He's amazing. I love him as a person. We've never had an issue with him. I think it's just the whole doctor-patient system that I have an issue with. Because today we go in expecting to have this long conversation, and he says, we'll talk about it next time in 3 weeks when I see you again. So I'm like, okay, you told me we're going to talk about it today. So that kind of made me feel very upset and frustrated, because I could easily have this baby in 3 to 4 weeks and then I'm not feeling prepared. And so Logan's like, well, maybe they just don't want to tell you too far ahead of time because they don't want you stressing and worrying about it the whole time. But we're so close now. Like I said, like it would be totally normal for me to have this baby in 3 to 4 weeks, and then I'm left feeling totally unprepared or doing research on my own, which I've already been doing, but I haven't talked to my doctor about it yet. I love our doctor. I love him so much. Like, he has been nothing but great, but I just felt like another number just being rushed through. And Logan and I both pointed out that we sit longer in the waiting room waiting to see him than we actually do in the room with him, like getting to talk to him. So I don't know. I'm not blaming my doctor at all. I think that's how it is for most people. So it's like they're cutting back on our appointments, they're seeing us less, and it just, I don't know, the whole thing has just kind of frustrated me. I don't know. I guess the good news is the baby looks fine and healthy, his heartbeat sounded good, our due date got moved up, but now I just feel like I am left on my own to decide whether I am having a VBAC or another C-section. So it is kind of nice once you've already had a C-section. This is just for me anyways, but since I've already had a C-section, I basically get to choose if I want to have a VBAC or just schedule another C-section. Right now, just from what I've researched, I am leaning towards a VBAC, and that is just because I think C-sections are used more so for emergencies. When you know there's an emergency, when you've got to get the baby out, when there's a complication, you know, like that's usually what C-sections are for. With this baby, there is no emergency. Like Beckham's was just a freak kind of thing. It wasn't anything wrong with him or my body, it was just how the cord was. And his cord was also wrapped around his neck twice as well. So it was just kind of more of like a freak thing. Where with this one, I'm like, there's really no reason for us to have a C-section other than weighing out the risks and deciding like which one would be less risky for us. Like that's all it comes down to, is just deciding on those risks, because right now, like we're perfectly fine, and I feel like my body is supposed to give birth and this is what our bodies were made to do. But obviously the biggest concern with having a VBAC is a uterine rupture, which can be very, very scary. But I am leaning towards a VBAC right now. So if any of you have experience with either a VBAC or a back-to-back C-section, let me know your thoughts and your feelings and your experience. But right now, because there is no emergency besides the risk of a uterine rupture, I am still leaning towards a VBAC. So that's my plan right now, but who knows, things might change. Besides that though, I am trying to think if there's anything else to catch you guys up on or any other updates. I will give you a little bump date of my belly, but I have already gained over 20 pounds, so my weight is looking good. I'm feeling good. I still feel like I have a lot of energy. Like I said, my pregnancies have been very easy on me. I think I'm going to show you guys the nursery later because not a lot has changed. It's basically still a big disaster of a toy room, so there's not much to show with the nursery yet. Feeling pretty prepared, although his room is just a mess right now, but I think we also did say that his name is basically decided. Logan and Beckham have been saying it over and over, so I think we are all on board, I think. But you guys will not find out until he is born. But anyways, I think that is it. I will show you guys a little bump date of my belly in my extremely dirty mirror. But this is us now at, I guess, 34 weeks. I don't know, I thought 32. So obviously I am not huge, but like we found out, you cannot always trust the tape measure, and women just carry their babies differently, I guess. But I mean, I feel a lot bigger, but I really am not like as big as some women get, and that's okay. He still looks good and healthy, and he moves all the time. That's another thing I was going to add. So this baby is very, very active. He's always kicking and moving. So that is the bump. I do feel like I have been so much worse at taking like bump pictures and doing updates or just like anything for this baby. It's just already gone by so much quicker than my first pregnancy with Beckham. And with a toddler now, I guess I'm just busy, but I have not taken like a lot of bump pictures or anything. So I think that's my update for today though. If you guys have any other like questions or just comments or things you want to know, leave it in the comments below. We are probably about a month and a half away from meeting this new baby, so we are just feeling very excited at this point. So thank you guys so much for watching and following along. Be sure to go check out Ritual. The link is in my description. Use my code to save a little bit off of their prenatals and their vitamins. Thank you again to them for sponsoring this video. And we will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.